Thank you, Secretary General, for being here. Let me also take this opportunity to offer my condolences to the families of the two Marines that you lost this past weekend on Sunday, I think it was, and to say that we're grateful for their service and grateful for yours. General, if I could start with you, let's talk about intermediate range missiles, if we could, for a second. The FY20 NDAA prohibited funding for the procurement or deployment of intermediate range missiles. If FY21 NDAA contains a similar prohibition, can you talk to us about what that will mean for your ability to field the long-range fires that you need for your sea denial mission?
So, sir, what I can talk about, if it answers your question, I think it will, is what I actually have to have is the ability to reach out, and I'll be cautious in the open setting, but to reach out hundreds of miles to place ships at risk. It can't be something very short. Hundreds of miles, because if you look at the expanse of the Pacific, our current issue, and Senator Hirono raised it, is being, we would say, outsticked in range by the opponent, which we cannot allow. If the opponent can reach me at 1,000 miles and I can reach at less than 1,000 miles, that is highly problematic for a force who doesn't live inside the weapons. We operate inside the weapons engagement zone, but we are not permanently large-based, if you will, inside that. So we have to have the ability to reach out hundreds of miles.
That's helpful. Thank you. Can you clear up something else for me, General, in a similar vein? The ground-based anti-ship missiles, the ground-launched cruise missile, your testimony, if I read it correctly, seemed to treat those as distinct capabilities. But I was under the impression that public reporting and also General Berger's testimony last week suggests that the ground-launched cruise and the anti-ship capability, that the ground-launched cruise missile, the Glickam, will have an anti-ship capability. Am I confused about that? I mean, can you help me there?
I'm pretty leery about saying that a senator is confused, so I'll be careful there, sir. Sir, you're not. The ground-launched cruise missile, or Glickam, is a task that the Deputy Secretary of Defense has passed to the Marine Corps to have an operational capability very quickly for something that reaches out, again, I'll just say hundreds of miles. That is a separate fielding, testing, and evaluation program now. The Naval Strike Missile, which we call ground-based anti-ship missile, but that is an existing technology now. The Navy already shoots it. So for us trying to field a capability rapidly to show that General Berger's planning guidance has the teeth that it does, we'll pair that missile, which is existing now, with a JLTV. We call it a rogue fires vehicle, a robotic vehicle. We'll pair that immediately. So that ground-based anti-ship missile capability is currently Naval Strike Missile. The ground-launched cruise missile or any other system ideally can be fired off of that same platform. So the platform's the platform. It's agnostic as to what it fires.
Gotcha. That's helpful. Thank you. I've heard some concerns that some of the Corps' long-range precision fires programs might be redundant to programs that are under development currently by the Army. Can you just respond to that?
Sure. I just testified last week with General Murray, who's the Commanding General of the Army Futures Command, and I would say they're not redundant, sir. There are always overlaps, which are wise, so that we have the ability to pick up missions. The Army is working on some longer-range fires through their either PRISM or other systems, precision strike missile. And we both share information. In fact, I believe much of what we gain from ground-launched cruise missile as the lead for the Department of Defense on that will actually wind up being passed to the Army. It may be a little too heavy for us. One of the keys for us as the littoral force, as the light, highly mobile force, we have to calculate how much stick we carry with us versus how agile I can be to get on board either aircraft or naval craft to move rapidly into and around the Pacific. A longer range system may be ideal, but too heavy for me. So as General Murray and I, as the Army and the Marine Corps, balance and coordinate, I'll have the shorter range but more mobile. He would have longer range.
Got it. Let me come back to a topic that you touched on with Senator Ernst, I think it was, the JADC2. Can you tell us more about the Marine Corps' role in the development of JADC2?
So, sir, the Air Force is actually developing the concept of JADC2. We'll do an experiment here. The Air Force will conduct it here in about 3 weeks out in Nellis. And each of the services will provide systems that they currently use. The key here for us, sir, would be that the concept of joint all-domain command and control, any sensor, any shooter, what we want to have happen is the systems which we already use to pass data, those radios or whatever systems, the form factors that fit each of the service's unique missions have to be able to feed into that. So the experimentation is we will provide things like perhaps V-22s or perhaps in the future an F-35 to make sure that the systems that we're procuring can feed that system. The data transmission is the key, sir, not any specific box or any specific thing that must feed JADC2. The services will all be able to do it with the systems that they have that match their specific operations. It's really data transmission, sir.
That's really helpful. Mr. Secretary, do you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, yes, sir. I think, as General Smith said, we need to be careful this doesn't, we issue everybody a unique box to operate on that network. That will be expensive, and two, will take a long time to get through all the aircraft integration and ship integration. And so I think the sweet spot we're looking for is what are the standards and the architecture, kind of like, wireless. You don't have to have a different phone for every wireless network. That's the way we had to do it in the past because technology in the past wouldn't allow you to get there. So there's an operating concept, and then we've got to mechanize it so it doesn't become either time or cost prohibitive.
That's helpful. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.